Hello and welcome everybody to the Clip Show. I am Pete here with Draven and Tony on this Friday evening. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello, I'm Bishop Brian Alvarez.
Welcome to Wrestling Observer Radio. I'm Brian Alvarez. Wait, hang on. I have something for that. Well, I'm Dave. Brian.
Now, with WrestleMania, it's either going to sell out or it won't.
Yeah, we're
usually what happens.
Yeah. Of course, we're jumping the shark, Godzillionaire. We've got nothing left. We got to jump the shark at this point.
Man, Godzillionaire is the workhorse of the chat, bro. Him and Manliness fighting over that title. The workhorse, brother, the workhorse. Thank you.
The Gashman Trophy.
Yes. The Gashman Delight. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a wonderful show for you here today. We've got some, Etep and I were listening to a wrestling show from our associates and fellow writers, Vince Russo and Jonathan Coachman, and they brought up some really good points. Plus, we're going to see what Stone Cold Steve Austin thinks of the new show, WWE Unreal. I think we all three have expressed our opinions on it. You know, it's not really for me, not really for Etep. Draven doesn't mind as much. And that's a weird thing, too, because Draven's opinion, well, you mentioned a couple weeks ago that you like the documentaries and kind of the backstage stuff WWE does, and I do too. You know, I really do. But I don't know, something about just going into where the fudge is packed and we're not talking about the first Intercontinental Champion's office. So it just, I don't know, seems a little weird. So
I'm shaking my head.
Yeah, we're going to see what Stone Cold thinks of that, because Stone Cold is someone who has always taken the business very seriously. He's always protected his character and his creative, his storyline, and that's something that's lacking today, I believe. I mean, what do you guys think about that as far as taking the product serious and protecting your character?
I personally, as far as taking the product seriously and protecting your character, I take that seriously, like protecting your gimmick. I always have, like, and that was a lot of the bone of contention between Dillinger and I when we were tagging. Was he wanted to do comedy stuff, and I'm like, no, we're badasses. He goes, no, it'll get over, you know, and it always worked, and we had that yin and yang with our bit. I'm all for protecting your character, and I'm not opposed to doing comedy spots. I've softened on that, but the pulling back the curtain completely, I don't like the idea. I don't think, and it's odd, as we'll find out later, you know, Triple H is a traditionalist when it comes to wrestling. He is, to a certain extent, and that's why I find it odd that he is okay with this show.
Well, from what I was seeing, I forget what it was. It was either that Bischoff and Connor thing that I showed or whatever earlier, where The Rock and Triple H are they fucking hate each other. Yeah. And The Rock recently replied to La Greca, busted open. And there's this, like, they're like, why is he doing this? Like, it makes no sense. But they're trying to set up, like, this thing that's going to happen on that show, because it's all fabricated, because everything's a fucking
work.
Everything's work. So, yeah. So, like, that's what some people are speculating, that they're not going to wrestle in the ring, but they're going to have a feud kind of thing on this show, because they're both in the writer's room.
Possibly. But some of what I've heard is that it doesn't matter if Triple H would want to go along with this or not. It's TKO, Ari Emanuel, they own the wrestling industry now. And, you know, Netflix, I mean, already they can't be happy that more people are basically not watching the show on Netflix and going over to WWE's YouTube channel or X to just watch the clips instead of sitting through what's generally a mundane 3-hour show with a few bright spots here or there.
Yeah.
But that was basically it. Like Netflix wants original content to bring people onto the platform because that's why they made this investment in WWE to grow their already massive platform. And quite frankly, this is what TKO wants to do. It's something that's never been done before. I mean, Hunter, is he in a position of power? Yes, especially backstage to the performers, to the talent. But really, he is just another subordinate, you know, and when even The Rock comes out and says to do something, I mean, he is on the board. The Rock is on the board. He's in a higher position than Triple H. So Triple H kind of just has to go with what they tell him to do.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not the be all end all when it comes to creative. But yeah, I do feel like The Rock just told LaGreca everything's a work, right? The interviews, all that. So this heat between The Rock and Triple H, I do feel as there could be some merit to that. This is just manufactured heat. It's canned heat, you know? But you know, who knows? And Tony, to your point about Netflix and their relation with WWE now, as far as the viewership numbers, yeah, the hundreds of millions of views that WWE gets on Twitter and or X and YouTube, that doesn't amount to a hill of beans for Netflix. They've got they've got $5 billion invested in WWE. So
that also speaks to my point where like the way they use social media is flawed because they're literally spoiling their own stuff as it happens.
Yeah.
And if you want your show to be must-see TV, you don't spoil it as it happens.
Well, don't.
I'm sorry.
No, I was.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say Jonathan Coachman brought up the part that was a bad negotiating tactic by Netflix. They should have had a 24-hour pause before WWE started uploading clips for Raw.
That or even a week. Like the week that after, like the next week when when the next show is on, that's when you drop the last stuff.
Yeah,
the people
that is
an
eternity in internet time.
It is, but the people that actually want to tune in and watch will tune in and watch, and the people that don't will wait.
But yeah, I was gonna say great minds think alike, Tony, because that's exactly the point I was gonna make. Was that Coachman said they should have negotiated a 24-hour social media embargo on all video clips, and I a week is way too long. Things are completely like past the news cycle by that point, unless it's a continual story. You know what I mean? But in this case, with your show, no, you want those clips. 24 hours is fine, because then you'll still get lingering views that come in to watch the show after the fact. And yeah, the social media after 24 hours, that's fine. Like then you can start uploading, but not as it's happening. Like you get one clip done and it's like, all right, upload it. Like, no, don't do
even
that.
AEW does that. And it's like, they're on Max too. So it's like, you have two ways to watch there. So it's like, why would you spoil it? And if you're going to be on Max, you want people to go subscribe to Max. They don't have cable. So it's like, why would you do that?
One of WWE's big selling points when they were trying to get TV deals, just as little as like, you know, the 2010s. I remember they would say they are DVR proof. Meaning like you have to watch as it's happening, or basically that was it. And now they've kind of eliminated that for themselves. The whole talking point was people are going to be watching the show live on your network. This is something they're not just going to, I'll DVR this and come back to it later. They were going to watch live, and that means money. That means advertising dollars. And they've kind of stripped themselves of that selling point.
That's
Yeah,
cutting
so
off. Oh, sorry, Tony.
no,
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, yeah, e- even a week is better than what they're doing now.
Yeah, it's what they're doing now is cutting off their nose to spite their face.
Yep.
They
So
really are.
can
Even
we
with like their angles too, like some of the angles where they just do a social media like thing, like that stuff shouldn't be on social media. Like
No.
it should be on the main show. Like there's a bunch of times when we're watching it, and especially in the last 4 months when we were watching, where there's a bunch of filler shit, and it's like, why isn't there like a package here, or why aren't they here in person, like doing this stuff, or even if it's a pre-tape, like
backstage vignette,
yeah,
like that. Yeah,
just like why isn't this happening? Like it just doesn't make sense to me.
There's no sense of urgency on their part anymore. It's content. It's not must see TV. It used to be must see TV. The Monday Night Wars, like you said, Tony, it was DVR proof. Then that was the early 2010s. You know, in the Monday Night Wars, it's like you had to see it. If you didn't have 2 TVs with 2 different cable boxes and 2 VCRs, you had to see it. And now, like you said, Draven, you've got filler, you've got all these ridiculous video packages. There's like the pay-per-views, like WrestleMania, we discussed it being barely recognizable in terms of the backstage stuff. There was none really. You didn't have any of the comedy gimmicks backstage, you know, you didn't have celebrities being goofy and stuff. So they've homogenized the entire product overall in an attempt to bring in, and I think WWE does a better job of bringing the casuals than the competition does, AEW. But the problem, and a lot of the problem we've discussed in that is the long-term storytelling. Now, you'll take something that they used to do in 4 to 6 weeks and stretch it out from 6 to 10 weeks or longer. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it's just an epic fail. And obviously the build to WrestleMania with the Cody Rhodes, and that's been talked about to death. You know?
Yeah, because they back in the day they used to look at fan like the engagement of the crowd and stuff, and if things didn't work, then they pivoted. Now they just continue the course. They don't even bother to fucking pivot anymore, with some rare exceptions here and there. And with like the Cody or the Rock Roman thing at what was it, 39, WrestleMania 39, they pivoted because people were like so up in arms, and they weren't. I think it might have been hurting ticket sales too because of it. So then they switched back to let's finish the story bullshit, which we see how well that went over. Which kind of goes to the point that I usually make, that it's like you want it until you get it, and then it's like, I didn't really want this anyway.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing with Sami. What is it? Sami Zayn.
Yep.
As soon as he gets that title, they will not give a shit.
Oh God, that's gonna be like, okay, if you want to give him a run with the World Heavyweight title, I can live with that, but don't give him the fucking WWE Championship. I'm sorry, but he's just a less talented Eugene. Like, I don't want to fucking.
I'm kind of hoping they get rid of the Universal with Cena and what he's been doing. I'm kind of hoping they just eliminate that title altogether, and then just have the World Heavyweight Champion. And since Seth is like, I'm gonna be the new, face basically of the company, and get that title, the World Heavyweight, because that's what he's going for. At least that's what it seems like. Then you put all your stock into that title and you make it mean something, and you don't have the other one to worry about because it's gone.
Wait, did you say I'm sorry. Did you say Universal? They don't have that anymore, do they? That's gone.
Well, the WWE Championship.
Yeah, that's called the Universal title.
Is it still called that? I thought it was
they blended, but it's kind of back to the WWE Championship right now, which is the problem with adding all these monikers to your fucking top title. I was thinking about that.
Or Undisputed or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day, about what if Cena succeeds, and what if he walks away with the title, and then they went with the World Heavyweight Championship? Do you know how much lineage that is? Do you know how much history is behind that title? That's not just the WWF Championships lineage. That's the WCW Big Gold lineage. That's fucking a lot.
Isn't that what the
goes
World
back.
Heavyweight Championship is now, though?
It's not the same lineage. The Big Gold title, it's lineage combined with WWE's when they unified them when Chris Jericho won the title.
Yep.
Or no, excuse me. They unified it. Yeah. So I was thinking because Triple H was the first one with the black WWF belt, but Jericho carried around the two. They were unified titles. So all of WCW's Big Gold history was transferred into WWF's at that point. And then later, when Eric Bischoff presented Triple H with the new gold belt, that's starting over. Yeah, it looks like WCW's title, but that's a brand new belt. And it's the same thing with the current, it's the same thing with the current World Heavyweight Championship. The only lineage that has is what was it? Seth Rollins, then Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, Gunther, and now Jey Uso.
Yep.
Yeah, I was taking it as that was the new big gold belt or whatever that they brought in.
It is, but it doesn't have its lineage. It's like a new belt.
Yeah, that one's lineage, like you said, Tony. It combined. But was that? Would you say 2002?
2002 was when Bischoff presented Triple H, but even that one eventually got moved into the WWF Championship as well when Randy Orton unified them, in the 2010s. And then they created that new Universal title or whatever where they had the two, and then Roman Reigns unified those, and that's all part of the same
the Universal
lineage.
and the SmackDown got unified or whatever.
Yeah, and it's all part of the same lineage.
Speaking of Roman Reigns, has there ever been a more steep decline in his standing in the company? And it is for a former champion, I should, properly quantify that
standard bearer of the company.
Yep.
Like he was the face.
Over a half a decade.
I'm going to say yes and no because we don't know where they're going yet. Like, with what he's, like, I would say, like, looking at the current, like, what's going on now, yes, it's kind of a decline. But, like, bigger picture, we don't know where they're going with everything. And it could be something like a return to grace or something at some point. Who knows?
Here's my problem with that, Draven, and I know you're more of an optimist. You're a glass half full kind of guy,
and I'm not a Roman Reigns guy by any means.
And I respect the guy's work and what he's done and how he pretty much carried the company.
Yeah,
and I just look at this like, man, you talk about doing a guy dirty. Like Jesus, I have no faith in Triple H at this point. I have
like seen there looked like there was going to be a rematch between Roman and Cody, like because they had that whole stadium thing, and then fucking Cena came in and just interjected himself into everything.
Yeah,
sort of like The Rock did.
Yeah, I have very little faith that Triple H is going to be able to do anything with him. I'm waiting for him to fumble that. Further, and everybody's like, what the hell? No, this and this whole is I don't know if the clips cover that, but talking about are they setting Triple H up to be the fall guy, basically, to be the patsy, as it were.
Yeah, I heard that too.
And they use the negative backlash from WrestleMania, but as the better minds than myself would tend to say, this could be just nothing but a work, but we're going to play this Stone Cold clip because we were talking about Stone Cold and his WWE Unreal thoughts.
Just real quick, they have fired just about everyone who is close to Vince besides one or two people, but we can get into that later when we discuss the McMahon family dynamic.
All right, I'm going to play this clip of Stone Cold talking about WWE Unreal.
Wrestling fans, they they're old school in a sense. They're nostalgic. And so when things like, there's this documentary that's coming out, a series on Netflix where they're going to show behind the scenes, like the writing process, the creative process called WWE Unreal, or even little things like ads all over the ring, they get very fired up. To the non-fan, you'd be like, who cares? When you see this stuff, how do you feel about it? Are you old school like that? Should there not be ads on the ring? Should there not be cameras in the writing room?
Man, that's where I'm still a little bit. I'm a little old school on that, and it's just like I'm a big Magic fan, but if Harry Houdini's still around, I don't want him to tell me how he does it. I want to figure out how he does it, and if I can't, then I'm gonna keep wondering, and I'm gonna keep watching, but I'm gonna keep wondering. So don't tell me how he's doing it, but see if I can figure it out myself, because I want to think that I know it's not magic, it's an illusion, but let me keep wondering about that illusion.
There you have it. I like the analogy about magic, and it's funny. Before that interview came out, Jared and I were talking about this, and Jared does magic. He knows, sleight of hand and such, and he said, I'm the same way. He goes, people now, they just want to know how the trick works. He goes, I don't want to know how the trick works. I don't want you to tell me. I want to be able to figure it out. But he's like, I don't want you to just show me things. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
and I really agree with Austin in this. But I told you I was against this from the word go.
One problem with entertainment these days, and I want to hear Draven's take on what Stone Cold said, but one problem with all entertainment and all mediums these days, you see someone badass like Darth Maul.
Yep.
And you're like, man, he's amazing. And we only got a few minutes of him actually on screen. But I mean, the guy became instantly iconic in a movie that's not very well received, even to this day, in The Phantom Menace. But I mean, Darth Maul, people they were upset he was killed so quick. What a badass character. And then what did we do? Well, we showed you a little bit more of Darth Maul in the Clone Wars, and you're like, oh, he ended up having robot spider legs. That's a little weird. And then Disney gets a hold of Star Wars, and now we've seen every fucking moment of Darth Maul's life, and suddenly that mystique, that aura, is gone. There's nothing left to the imagination, and that happens in all kinds of different movies and television shows. Like, we don't always need to go back and figure out, or see how this happens. Some things are better left to the imagination. I know it's not quite the same analogy as Harry Houdini and magic, but that's kind of how I view it. Like, let me imagine the writer's room. I don't want to see it. What do you think, Draven?
Yeah, I agree, but like given like the stuff with The Rock, and then like hearing some stuff like currently with interviews with Total Divas, like some of that shit on Total Divas was scripted. Like it's not all legit. So like Natalia and Summer Rae or whatever, like slapping each other, that shit was all scripted. Like that wasn't like, there might have been heat between them, but that kind of stuff was scripted. It leads me to believe that something similar is going to be happening on this, because it's also a reality television show, and most reality television shows have like scripted shit in it to like try to, get ratings and get people to watch it. Because if you just showed actual reality, it'd be pretty fucking boring. So that's kind of my 2 cents. Like if The Rock wouldn't have said what he said, then it would be like, yeah, I get, like, let's not reveal like too much. Like we don't really need, we know that there's a writing room. That's enough for me, kind of thing. But for the people that like drama and fucking just crazy shit, yeah.
I got pissed when they started showing the gorilla position on TV. Okay. You don't need to fucking show gorilla on television. Why? Why do you need to show gorilla on TV? Why do
Sorry.
Why do
they want to come off like major sports? That's why, and it's fucking stupid.
It hurts the fucking product when they do that. It's like Hunter should Paul. Where I have trouble calling him Paul, Triple H, whatever. He should understand that this is not what the old man would want. And
I'm kind of all right with the gorilla position based on the fact that like we have backstage shit anyway, and gorilla is basically backstage, so it's like we already see backstage. So what the hell does it really matter?
But it
you know what I mean?
It's different though. It's different. Everybody goes through gorilla.
And we saw it years ago too in certain clips.
I don't like it. I didn't like it then, and I don't like it now. I'm coming at this like a fucking. I'm coming at this from somebody.
Well, my day.
No, fuck that. I sit in gorilla all fucking night, and right through the door to gorilla, you walk through there, and there's the fucking curtain. You walk up 2 stairs, and you turn right, and there's the fucking entrance, and through those doors is the fucking crowd. The crowd doesn't need to see gorilla. They don't need to. The marks don't need to see gorilla. The faces and the heels both come through there. It's the fucking illusion. It goes back to what Stone Cold was saying about the magic. It is. It's psychology.
It's the same thing with AEW where they have 2 tunnels. It's like, that's fucking dumb. I don't want to know who the heel and the babyface are, and that's what you're giving away.
You don't have to tell me who the faces and the heels are as a fan, even as a casual. You figure it out.
Yeah, that's what the story and the how they wrestle tells me.
But no, that pisses me off about them showing gorilla position. It's just, look, man, like the backstage vignettes and stuff, like, hey, if they're backstage, oh, I caught you in the hallway or whatever. You know, that's fine. But yeah, and Godzillionaire, to answer your question, it's because of Gorilla Monsoon. That's because he would sit there right behind the curtain.
Jeez, even I knew that.
Yeah, that's why. It's because of Gorilla Monsoon. We have in when you walk from the backstage area, the main locker room area where the office is, there's like the corridor, there's a couple corridors and doors backstage, and then you go, there's the gorilla position room, which is like there's about 15 of us that'll sit, usually about 10 to 12 of us will sit in there comfortably because the monitor's in there. And on the door is there's just countless pictures of Gorilla Monsoon. You know, it's you got to have them there, man. That's the man. But no, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And call me a crotchety old veteran or whatever. But I mean, it's just, like I said, it's the psychology of it. It's the TV audience. Look, we all know what professional wrestling is. We acknowledge that. If you call it fake, to me, I will body slam you on the concrete. But just know that, because it hurts every time we fucking fall. It ain't fake. That being said, I look at it, dude, it's a fucking male soap opera. Ladies like it too. Ladies, I don't want you to feel left out. It's a soap opera. It's live action role playing, full contact. And we are stuntmen. That's what we are. We're stuntmen and storytellers.
Goddamn LARPers.
And we're putting on, it's no different than a movie or a television show or a Broadway production, you know? So we want the audience to get lost in the illusion that we're providing them and to lose themselves in the story and the characters that we portray. Showing all the layers to how it happens is not fucking helping with maintaining the suspension of disbelief in the illusion. How is that helping anything? That is a fucking straight up detriment in my eyes. And, you know, you'll never, yeah.
I completely agree.
You know, it doesn't, it spoils it to me.
It doesn't bother me.
God damn it.
So Keely Chow says, I don't care if it's WWE or AEW. I would love for someone to hold up a sign that says support children's education. And Keely, I want to take a moment to appreciate that. I think that's a brave stance to take.
I wonder
and I
if
think
they
it's
had
beautiful.
that. I wonder if they had that in the crowd when that happened.
I have a tear in my eye. It's like that Native American man standing at this side of the highway picking up trash, and it's just beautiful. We all agree here. Pat yourself on the back, Keely. Anyway, sorry I had to step away for a moment. So what were you saying spoils the show, Mr. Daddy Dollar?
Just showing the gorilla position, and the fans
yeah.
correlate
No.
that with knowing the faces and heels all come through there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, like, leaving more to the imagination isn't always a bad thing. And it's okay sometimes, when they're showing Brock Lesnar coming backstage pissed off and throwing the title at Vince's head. Sure. Quick seconds every, you used to get like just a small glimpse of Gorilla every now and then on specials, or if something was going completely crazy, a crazy storyline angle, and it brought you back there for like a moment, but it wasn't like, you didn't have Triple H running up to YouTubers like, we need you in the Rumble now. Like, that's like, I don't know. I'm just saying, yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Daddy Dollar.
Yeah, like I said, man, we're performers. We're putting on a performance. And do you want to go backstage and listen to them talk about how they're gonna go out and dance, showing their fucking assholes in the musical Cats? I don't think so. You don't want to go back there and watch them weirdos put their furry suits on. So just enjoy the show, basically, Draven.
I liked the Cats movie.
I know you did.
I like the Broadway musical too. I just wish they would have used practical effects on the new one instead of CGI.
All right, so yeah, that's we've established that Draven's opinion is the Overton windows.
I just don't give a fuck.
It's just this fucking guy. What do you got next, Tone?
So I wanted to bring up the WWE releases, actually, and then we can maybe segue into Chelsea Green if you would like.
Yes,
and
sir.
The reason I say that is because, Jesus, a whole lot of NXT women and a main roster woman or two was released today. And that includes Braun Strowman as well, which I didn't see Braun Strowman's debut in WWE. I wasn't watching at that time when he was with the Wyatt family. And what I have seen of Braun Strowman, they kind of book him like a joke. He was kind of an oaf in that storyline with one moment.
For me, Braun Strowman was great until he got fired, and then he came back. Then they just destroyed his character.
Exactly. And like, there's absolutely no planet where Jacob Fatu would stand a chance against Braun Strowman in a fight. If we were sitting in a bar drinking, and I got a buddy of mine like, yeah, but he was in prison. It's like, Braun Strowman is huge. Like, all credit to Jacob Fatu. He went to prison when he was younger. Sweet. But mass means something. And obviously, any given Sunday, like, Jacob Fatu could throw a lucky shot and knock Braun Strowman out. But just how he was booked in that program with Fatu was bad. And they just don't treat him serious. And it's like, if this was real life, if this was real fighting, I mean, no one on that roster could step up to fucking Braun Strowman. Like,
no, Jesus, dude, he would massacre pretty much anybody on that roster just on sheer size alone.
Just take him and push him like Mark Henry in 2011. That's all you have to do, and he would be so massively over.
why that's a good point, Tony, and that's a great correlation to Mark Henry. Why do you think that they have not done that with Braun Strowman yet? I mean, this guy is one of the biggest, most I mean, he's fairly athletic for somebody his size. I mean, they had that program with him and Bronson Reed, who I know you guys aren't
I
keen
fucking
on
hate
him. I
Bronson
know.
Reed.
I like Bronson Reed for the fact that there is a place for a guy like him. There is. And it doesn't have to be as a main
Generic big
event.
man #1.
Yep. And that's it. He doesn't have to be a forefront character, but there's a spot for a guy like that because you can always use that monster kind of heel. His problem is he's kind of short, but you can work around that because he's so big, but he opens his mouth and he loses all of his toughness factor because he has the accent, and it doesn't jive with him being tough. Like, he's somebody who needs a manager. But I liked what they were doing with Strowman and Reed. I liked that program. It was two big meaty men slapping meat. No, it was. They put on some good hoss fights.
Yeah.
And the tsunami on the roof of the car. It's just, yeah.
I'm actually surprised by Dakota Kai because there was rumors that they weren't bringing her in because they were waiting for the rest of Damage Control to return.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were going to bring her back. So maybe they just laid her off until that happens and they bring her back again.
They don't need to bring the wine aunt back.
And then Gigi Dolan, I'm surprised by that too because her and then the chick that's with Chelsea Green is one of the Secret Hervis. And
isn't
Mandy
Cora
Rose,
Jade
they were part of
I'm
that.
sorry, Drew.
They were part of that like deadly whatever or something. They were hot, bunch of hot chicks, and they won the tag belts and NXT, and Mandy Rose won that. They were red hot and stuff, and then they didn't like do anything with them after they split up, I think. So I'm surprised by that. Maybe she'll go to AEW to be with her ex husband Darby.
Wait, Gigi Dolan? No, she'll go back to the Indies and pull tampons out of herself again and shove them in some poor girl's mouth.
Ew.
That's what she did.
That was a work tampon.
I don't care.
A real one.
I don't care. What the fuck, dude? There's kids.
I know it's sick, but it's
like,
the Indies and they do all kinds of stupid shit.
Do you think you would ever see anybody in a Shogun fucking ring?
I'm not saying in your place, but I'm saying there are a lot of places that are less reputable that will do whatever.
Where that happens, Draven, that happens at fucking Outlaw Mud shows. That's where the fuck that happens. Outlaw Mud shows.
Even we didn't do that shit. Like when
it's ridiculous.
We used the kennel though for like a cage match. That was fun.
For some of the names I see on here, there are things like Shayna Baszler. You know where she belongs is at the side of someone like, I mean, I guess this is a bit Liv Morgan and Raquelish, but you can angle it differently too. She should be like a bodyguard for Roxanne Perez or a smaller wrestler like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where you better take him serious because look at this monster behind him. And everyone knows Shayna Baszler's background. They know that woman can scrap,
Mm-hmm.
Dakota Kai, she was just on TV a couple weeks ago leading up to WrestleMania. I mean, she was wrestling, a couple weeks in a row there.
She was
and
in
Vince
the
Russo
picture.
Yeah. Vince Russo called this. The past few days, he's been talking about how they just kind of go through women like crazy. Like there was a wrestler with the dog a couple months ago, and then there was this wrestler, that wrestler, and you just see them a time or two and they disappear and they have no chance to get over because you never see them, And he mentioned Dakota Kai, and he said she's going to be on the next round of cuts. Whenever that happens, whenever WWE starts firing people again, Dakota Kai is going. And I'm thinking, like, no, she was just on TV. Like, She's got a following. People like Dakota Kai, all right, Just saying, there's a lot of women that are a bit lower on the social status or in there's other people you could release than Dakota Kai is what I'm trying to say. And Vince Russo hit the nail on the head. Like, there are things you can do with her. She's talented. She knows what she's doing, She may not put on the best matches, but she's a character, and she's got some charisma. You just got to bring it out of her.
Oh, okay, all right. You're talking about Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna go Russo on this. Bro, what character does Dakota Kai have? No, seriously though, like what? And he asked this of like every woman down the fucking roster. And I'm sitting there and I'm like,
but he's going after the booking though. He's not going after the wrestler personally. He's saying they should be characters, and
I know
the booker isn't doing their job.
And they're not. That's the problem. Like, okay, like Dakota Kai is like he said, I'm going to use Asuka as an example because Asuka has way more success than Dakota Kai will ever fucking have, because Dakota Kai is a goddamn fragile wine aunt who doesn't belong in the fucking wrestling business. She is a valet. She's a mid.
Maybe that's why she's getting released, because she's so injury prone.
And that wouldn't surprise me. She took a drop kick, and this is funny. Amidst all these releases, who still has a job? My girl, Zoe Stark. But no, to go back to the point about Asuka, he says and Tony, we were talking about this. The Empress of Japan, Asuka. Okay. What the fuck does that even mean? Like, what does that do?
Well, they won't let her do the fucking Kana shit that she did in Japan, where she was like a demon, and there was like she had like this mafia style Yakuza family thing. Mm-hmm. They like give you glimpses of it when she was like doing the mist and she was wearing like the suits and shit. Like, we started to get glimpses of that, and then they just fucking stop it, or she gets injured.
Yeah.
So it's like
follow through.
Yeah, there's no follow through to any of it. So you can't, when it starts getting interesting, then they fucking cut it off. And it's like, well, that's why your fucking characters aren't getting over, and they only have like one or two people like Charlotte or whoever. And that's why people get tired of like some of these your top stars, is because they don't push any of the lower ones up to those positions, because they start their progression and pushes like nonstop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No follow through. Real quick, Takara World says, imagine seeing Bailey's facial reaction to Dakota Kai being released.
Yeah. She doesn't have her straight hair anymore. She let her hair get all curly and shit like it is naturally.
You want to know the truth, Draven? So, go ahead, Pete.
Hang on. Oh my God. Okay, I gotta watch my language for a second, because it's one of my students is in the chat. Oh, and she even used her nickname. I call her Walking Dead, because she always gets hurt in gym class. One way or another, Livy always gets hurt. Hey kiddo, how you doing? Good to see you.
What's up, Livy?
My sketchbook 340. Hola, carnal. But she's Samoan. Wait, who's Samoan?
Who's Mini Wolverine?
Wait, Mini Wolverine's here. Too? That's another one of my students. I call her Wolverine because she's a little monster. Oh my God! Now I have to watch my language. But no, dude. Wait, who's Samoan? Is Dakota Kai Samoan? She's the smallest Samoan.
She's kind of got the nose.
Is she the runt of the litter? Like, I've never seen a Samoan, even the women that weigh under 200 pounds.
That sounds about right, Sketchbook. Yeah, she does it. Like, I've looked at her before, her facial structure, and just because, I don't know, I don't think she's bad looking, But I
think she looks like a wine. I almost dropped it. Yeah. She looks like a wine aunt. She's got but even for a female wrestler, she's a buggy whipped noodle arm string bean. Like, goddamn buggy whip noodle arm string bean out there getting injured off a Zoe Stark drop kick. No, I just she's dodged Dakota. Wait, do I still have the graphic over here before we move on? Yo-Yo Ma. No, I don't. It's over here. Hang on a second. You got to go over here for that. One more time because she's gone now. Dodge Dakota is now gone, and we're left with Yo-Yo Ma, Carrie, and Oscar the Grouch. That's what we hath wrought, gentlemen. That's what we hath wrought. Bye, Harlan. See you, kiddo. Yeah, I did not know. Yeah, they fired Dakota. They fired Dakota Kai. Caden Carter and Katana Chance, they were that like Vince said, they were a party girl tag team, but there was nothing to the gimmick.
Here she is with her curly hair.
Who?
Dakota Kai.
Dodge Dakota?
What her hair looks like naturally.
Hang on. Let's see. There. That's Dakota Kai?
Mm-hmm. That's what her hair looks like naturally. She straightened it, so she like had short hair for a while. It's because she was been straightening it for fucking ever, and it damaged the shit out of her hair.
Dude, yeah, that's what I did to my beard, straightening it for all those years.
Yeah.
That's
what you get.
Fuck you.
So, a point I wanted to bring up, gentlemen, is, we talk about people like Dakota Kai or Cora Jade, and it doesn't matter. I mean, even if they had their character, even if they were extremely entertaining to watch, if they had fans, a major social media presence, and were all in all just outright talented, not just, run-of-the-mill talented, they could be one of the most talented stars on your roster. And that's not going to stop WWE from being petty or playing games and really acting like a high school girl. And with that, we should probably segue into Chelsea Green.
Yeah, we can do that.
Who is all of those things I just listed. She is an amazing talent. She's beautiful. She's smart. She's charismatic. We talked about this, ETAP, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
When she comes out on SmackDown, it feels like an event. Her entrance is an event. It feels like something important's happening, and she maximizes the little bit of TV time that she does get every week. But at WrestleMania, she's the new U.S. champion. First WrestleMania this has ever been a thing, the women's U.S. title, and they didn't showcase it at all. So on this mega 2-night card, she had the audacity to ask, why isn't there a spot for me? Just curious, like, we couldn't fit me on the card, motherfucker. And Triple H punished her by having her drop the title to, no offense to Zelina Vega, but I mean, in terms of booking right now, and nobody, out of nowhere. And then she followed that up with a few cryptic tweets, which I'm going to share my screen here.
Yeah.
So we can all look at these.
Yes, I want to see this.
So her last 3 tweets. First, there's this one, which some might, this might be the most important tweet. That's all I'm saying.
Our U.S. champion. I salute you, Chelsea Green, even though you're Canadian.
Yes. So then on April 27th, 5 days ago, Sunday, she tweets out, "Goodbye for now, WWE. This is my farewell address." After that, on April 30th, she tweets, "Don't let it be forgot that once there was a spot for one brief shining moment that was known as Chelsea. there will be great champions again. There will never be another Chelsea again.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, she's not wrong. I mean, like, what? Taking the belt off of somebody.
I like Vega. Goddamn.
Okay, now the adults are in the room.
Oh,
She's been with the company for 7 years, and they haven't done. And she was the first women's Queen of the Ring. They had a bunch of. She's been the tag team champion. She's done a bunch of other shit, and then I think she got let go, and then they brought her back, and then she did the Puerto Rico thing, and that was like everybody loved her, and she has a huge following.
Yeah, agreed.
And,
but now, what has she been doing? What has Zelina Vega been doing the past 6 months to a year?
Not much, to the point where she even was like, kind of like, do they really give a shit about me? So, yeah, I not much, but she was red hot back during Backlash in Puerto Rico, and I think it was a missed opportunity, because wasn't that the changing of the guard at that time from Vince to Triple H?
It was definitely around there, and yeah, they should have struck when the iron
so
was
it's
hot.
possible she just got lost in the shuffle for the time being, and then so they finally probably remembered when freaking Malachi got brought back, and they're both there, and who knows. But she just definitely deserves at least a singles title. Like, she hasn't had one since she's been with the company. So,
okay. My head was ready to explode when you're trying to justify.
I'm not saying the timing is great.
Belt off of Chelsea Green, who is more over than
I get
any
that.
woman other than Rhea Ripley now.
Vega is too, but on social media.
Is on social media.
But you know what they gauge now?
And
social media.
Stupid.
I agree, but I'm just saying
she's 90 pounds. She's one of the smallest women on the roster. It's like Riho, dude.
Yeah, but look at Rey Mysterio.
I hated Rey Mysterio winning the World Heavyweight title too.
But they can still feud back and forth. Maybe she'll win it back.
Wait, what does Chelsea get from feuding when she's nothing?
I don't know.
The only reason they did that was to satiate her and Malachi Black or Aleister Black. That's the only. And look what you did. They did to Chelsea Green what they did to Zack Ryder.
Oh, yeah.
She got herself over, except she was allowed to flourish much more than Zack Ryder was, or Matt Cardona, if you will.
Or maybe he's coming back and they're going to put them together,
which would be fantastic, but I don't know if they'll bring him back and let him shine.
Well, he's had offers to come back, so I know AEW and them are always fighting over bringing him in. I know he's made appearances here and there for AEW and never signed anything.
I knew,
kind of a working deal or whatever.
He was on TNA at Rebellion. Mm-hmm. We were watching Sunday night. He was there, so he can go anywhere. And Phil, I'm in this one totally, dude. And Carter and Chance, I never gave a shit about them. Never.
Is that the one that has the weird contact lenses? Is always making like Instagram posts with bisexual Undertaker?
I don't know. Maybe
because she was part of that tag team. She's like black, I want to say, or Latina, and she has like the colored hair, the blue colored hair. Is that
wait? Hey, hold on, hold on, hold the phone, mother.
Oh jeez.
All to do is steal AEW talent that left WWE and went to fucking AEW. Like, come on, man. Like, don't be disingenuous with it. Don't be dishonest. Like, trust me, there's a lot of things that I like that AEW does, and there's a lot of things that I absolutely detest that they do. But Yeah, they've created some stars, absolutely.
Yeah.
But a lot
Okay. So
lot-
he said hold on. So he says that. So
yeah.
I guess AEW can't create any stars because all they do is bring in WWE talent like CM Punk and
Moxley,
who else? Moxley, Cody Rhodes, all these other people that have more star. Oh, Jericho, all these other people. Yeah,
Bobby
MVP,
Lashley,
Bobby Lashley,
Shelton
Benjamin, all these other guys that are over and
Billy,
were over like crazy in the other
Billy
company.
Gunn.
Yeah, Billy Gunn, and they bring them there, and then they fucking squander them.
Dude, Big Bill.
Or they leave and go back to the Fed because they realize what a shit show it is over there. And I'm an AEW fan, and I was watching religiously until it just got too much because it's just the same shit, and it's so fucking predictable. It's like the only time I watch now is just the pay-per-views because I get the cliff notes before the fucking show starts, and that's it. That's all I need.
Anime Night, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you, man. Let's see. Wait, did freaking Draven just compare Rey to Zelina, one of the greatest luchadors, to a New York Rican knock wrestler? Oh,
well, she compared herself to her as well during it open, so that's why.
Godzillionaire Air 404 AEW mark found. Wait a second, we've got something for that. We've got something for that. Hang on a second. Where's it at? We can do this. We can do this.
For once, it's not me being attacked.
We can do this.
I'm liking AEW.
We can do this.
So,
or we could do this.
Before we get too out in the weeds, we should probably watch the clip of Russo and Coach talking about Chelsea Green.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We did get a little bit sidetracked chat there. But here we go. Here is the Vince Russo clip talking about Chelsea Green.
One of the things that shocked me in the last week, and this is why I hate backstage heat. I always have. I used to sit by, and I'm almost a little embarrassed at my own non-reaction, but at the time, there's not much you can do. I hate when people get backstage heat for absolutely no reason. Last Friday night, you took a championship off of your most talented superstar on your roster, man or woman. And even in that time, she didn't complain. She still shot an angle of her losing it, of her leaning into what she used to be. And to me, Vince, from what I've heard, she has some backstage heat because she voiced her opinion about being the United States champion. And we're talking about Chelsea Green and not having a match at WrestleMania when you had 14 matches and she wasn't a part of it. She should have voiced her opinion because it was disgraceful that they didn't have her in WrestleMania. But to then take the championship off, and Zelina Vega, who may be a very nice person, Zelina Vega's 4'10". She's 90 pounds. There is no universe where she would beat any of the women on the roster. And then they posted a video, Vince, an interview where she says, I've been waiting to get that picture with Triple H for a long time, and now it's my turn. I'm like, it never should be your turn. This has got to be realistic. And she is a manager, nothing more. And now she's the United States champion?
Again, guys, I am going to go back to logic. What was it, 3 to 6 months ago that Triple H creates this United States championship? This is brand new, guys. This is brand new. And that's how you're going to get it over, by not having it represented on WrestleMania, and Chelsea Green's not supposed to question that? That's what I'm talking about with logic. Why are you going to create a title if it's not important enough to be represented on WrestleMania? That doesn't make any sense. Of course she should question that, but how do they handle that? No problem. Whoop. Next one.
But shouldn't we also be at a time, Vince, where if you are valuable to the company, and if they sit in the meetings and they tell you that Chelsea Green is not valuable, they're just lying to themselves. They're just lying to themselves. She is so incredibly valuable. And what she does with little or nothing and very little TV time is like something I've never seen before. Shouldn't certain superstars have the ability to walk into a room and ask questions without getting heat on the back end and losing her title, which makes her look weak because of who she lost it to? And then you try to tie it all together. Aleister Black, who is the husband of, I believe, Zelina Vega, he comes back the same night and they reward the wife and him. It looks very suspicious. And I think it's just wrong that you can't fight for your spot without fear of retribution.
Coach, it's really sad because I'm going to tell you, man, this is how they always look at it. And this is how they pick and choose who gets to open their mouth and who doesn't. They'll look at that individual. And here's the number one question. Do you make us money? If they don't believe you make them money, then shut your mouth, fall in line, or you're going to be out of here. They don't understand the value of a Chelsea Green because they're wrestling people. They don't understand her value. Characters are out the window. There are no characters. So they don't. So in their mind, she's not making them money. Therefore, she does not have a right to say how she feels.
Yeah.
And, just real quick, my sketchbook says that Chelsea is a locker room rot. Maybe she is. I don't know much about like the backstage of it right now.
Yeah.
I'm just really kind of delving back into the modern day product. But what I do know is she's one of the few superstars that have made me actually stop and pay attention to the TV when she's on the screen, and especially out of the females.
Yeah, I liked Chelsea Green. I agree that she's small, but like we've already thrown that illusion out the window. Like, and I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but maybe if they did booked it differently and like had it build it up and made it like a bigger feud than just kind of a couple throwaway matches.
Yeah, it just
it
felt kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of like when she was red hot, if they'd have built her back up to make her red hot again. Because she was even talking in an interview where she was like, you know, I didn't expect to win this. Like, when I won it, I thought it was, you know, unreal. Like, you know, it was, you know, something that I wasn't expecting to happen because it was out of nowhere, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Hang on. Trey wants to say hi. First, real quick. Instant regret. Hail, brother. Thank you, channel member, for 14 months. And I want to scroll back up here. Anime Night. Good to see you, bro. Channel member also for 14 months. Thank you to all of our channel members and Patreon backers, our brain busters, Kazooians, and Harvey Wakuian producers. And Trey, say hi to there's Harlan. Hang on. Go ahead and say hi.
Hi.
I think Liv's here too.
Hey.
What's up?
Say hi
Not
to
much. How you doing?
Or Tony.
Good.
David. And say hi to Andrew David.
Hello, Andrew David.
Did Fortnite Season 2 start today?
Fortnite Chapter 6 Season 3 started. I'm in the game.
That's what
Okay.
I didn't
Fortnite.
play it yet. See you, Trey. Right. Enjoy yourself.
I love you. Go play Fortnite.
Jason teleports.
Right here.
Get out of here. All right.
Hey, Draven said something to me.
He said Jason teleports, and I said you're both liars. And so they're both liars. Wait, what? Hang on a second. I'm trying to catch up on this conversation between Phil and Keely in the chat here, because Phil said I'd rather eat a fuck. I can't read that, or YouTube will demonetize me. Let's see. What was Keely talking about? Oh, what would you rather watch, AEW or a Jaguars game? Oof. No, the Chelsea Green thing, dude. They're spot on, man. Like, her getting punished for asking why she's not on WrestleMania when she was one of the most over champions, man or woman, on the roster. Absolutely. Like, the only woman that's more over than her with the crowd is Rhea. That's it. There is no other.
What about your Tiffy Zadar and your Chin of Diamond?
One of the most beautiful females, and he's calling her Robert fucking Zadar.
She's almost as bad as Diamante.
There's not even a. What is wrong with you? All right, Chelsea Green. Back to Chelsea. I'm sorry. We got sidetracked, Tony. I'm gonna kick Draven in the nuts though. Draven, Tiffy doesn't have enough chromosomes.
Look, so she's got enough chin for everybody. But yeah,
long, gay boys.
That's all about Chelsea Green.
Yeah, about Chelsea Green.
It reminds me of that South Park, like, where Cartman's walking around like, God damn it, I am not Bruce Valanche. Like Tiffy Stratton all through high school.
She's gorgeous. She's like Robert Zadar. What the hell's wrong with you?
They just got done watching Samurai Cop, and they come into school, and they see Tiffany Stratton, and she comes around the corner like, oh my God, I just saw a movie with you in it the other day, and it was terrible.
God damn it, Draven.
I hate you so much.
I know, because now you can't unsee it.
I've already unseen it. She's hot. I don't care.
She is hot from the neck below.
So, do.
I know, I can't say anything.
I'm gonna turn my key and deploy the nuke, Draven.
That's all right.
I will turn both keys, Draven.
Truce.
He said, "Truce." He's waving the way. This motherfucker turned into Switzerland real quick. Nope, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, man. I think I completely agree with them, with Russo, and that they fucked up something really good. That she made money. Like, what are you doing? Like, Chelsea made money, dude.
Look, if they ever lose the title to push her onto bigger and better things, that'd be one thing. But if this speculation is true that she's like in trouble because, I mean, God forbid she wanted on the WrestleMania card. She has, look, again, maybe she's locker room rot, maybe she's drama. I don't know, but I do know, like, in front of the camera, she's been working her ass off. And her character is entertaining. It's great. And it would have been a, fun match to see her come out with that entrance at WrestleMania. But again, I also think the TLC match should have been at WrestleMania for the tag titles. I mean,
yes.
I'm not trying to simp out specifically for her, but WrestleMania wasn't particularly a great show. And there are things they could have done to make it better. And I just think Chelsea Green is one of them.
Yeah, I don't know about anything backstage. God damn it. You guys are fucking.
I shared this thing that what Matt Cardona said about the
right here.
The releases and what they should do.
He's right. To the recently released, you have three choices. Number one, fade into obscurity. Number two, coast off your WWE name. Number three, work your ass off, reinvent yourself, make a lot of money, and have a lot of fucking fun. Love the indie god. And yeah, dude, he's absolutely correct. Like, there are opportunities, but I mean, let's I want to go back to this for just a minute before we get back to Chelsea Green, and because he's talking about the names, and real quick, Caden Carter, Katana Chance, nobody's gonna miss them. Nobody will even know they're gone in 3 weeks. Dakota Kai, nobody's gonna give a shit. Braun Strowman, look, I kind of like Braun. I think they should have done more with them. Baszler, nobody cares. Cora Jade, James is the only one that's sad because of her ass. Eddie Thorpe. I thought Eddie Thorpe was like in the middle of a push, which kind of threw me a little bit, but I couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
Yeah, I don't even know who he is.
Gigi Dolan, don't care. Jakara Jackson, they fired her, but they kept the big woman, Lash Legend. She's the bigger one.
What about the B or whatever? What's her name?
B-Fab?
Yeah, B-Fab.
How does she still have a job? She's awful.
Isn't she a manager?
She wrestles now. She just wrestled Charlotte. Joe and Mark Coffey, I don't even know who you are. Wolfgang? Doesn't he have a restaurant? Wolfgang Puck's Place? Like, I don't know he was a wrestler.
It's funny because these people are all in the I think all of them are in the WWE game. So it's like,
yeah, now you got all these, it's like AEW, the Fight Forever game. But no, I don't. None of these names were of any importance. So it's like, yeah,
Braun Strowman's a kind of a
Strowman's the biggest name, I think.
Yeah, they already released him before, and then they brought him back, but then they didn't do shit with him.
Yeah. The word for B-Fab is ratchet. Oh, absolutely. B-Fab probably washes paper plates. I mean, let's be honest. No,
is that the Phil?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
That is the Phil.
Mm-hmm.
The Phil. I got to play something from Phil here too, real quick, because I told him I'd play this audio clip from him. I got a screen share here, real quick, and then we'll get back. Well, I promise we'll get back to the fucking relevant discussion. Let me play this. Let me play this little clip here, real quick.
I'd buy that for $1.
There we go. I had to play this fucking I'd buy that for $1 clip. It was funny. I hope you heard that, Phil. No, I agree with Matt Cardona. Even though these folks, these men and women weren't mainstream talent, their name would have some pull on the indies, you know, making money. So yeah, you go there, you reinvent yourself. Like if they have a good work ethic, they'll reinvent themselves, as Cardona said, which is he's absolutely right. You know, Braun was supposed to feud with Bronson Reed, but he snapped his foot. Yeah, because 400-pound people shouldn't jump off the top of cages. It's the good Dr. Phil. Thank you very much.
It's good to see you, the good Dr. Phil.
The funny thing is I don't watch these lives for the live. I do. Well, thank you, kiddo. I appreciate you. You got to buy one of my t-shirts at the next show. Always selling. Always. I sold one to Trey's friend tonight.
That's $20, little man. Put it in my hand.
They did. I got my money.
Romeo.
I've now sold a quarter of my shirts. I've sold a quarter of them.
Yeah. I wore mine the other day.
These lovely t-shirts that you see right here in front of you, of course. It's a green screen effect, so you won't pick it up. But yeah, these are available. They come directly from me. They wash. I have washed this shirt since I got it about a dozen times, and the logo is still perfect. They're like pre-worn, not the shirts. The shirts aren't pre, but the logos are like made like vintage. They look vintage and they don't feel. You know how some shirts you get and they feel like the entire thing is like a press on. This is all you, and it doesn't feel plastic. Like it's nice. It's almost like screen printing, but yeah. And yes, I do have fat guy sizes. We go up to 2X if you need one of those. $20 and I ship directly to you. They all come from me. I
got mine for $20 and a handy earlier.
Yeah.
So,
who gave it?
I don't know. Maybe I didn't get it from you. I got it from somebody else.
He's like, that felt good. I'm like, I hope so. I don't know where the fuck it came from. Can we get a Jacob Fatu? I'm a dog walk his ass shirt, please? That would be funny. Does your shirt fit the blue shirt? Yes, it does. Yes, of course it does. Just the shirt will do. Well, that's good. Where were you today? You're not sick. We had to have I had business to attend to today that precluded me from coming to school. So that's why I wasn't teaching today.
Way to go.
Well, look, the cleaners came today. They cleaned the house, the Wakuian Manor. They cleaned the estate, and I had to work out. That takes hours, so I couldn't teach today. and let's face it, I didn't really feel like it.
All good. If I could have done that, I would have not gone to work today too.
No, we don't have a oh Billy and Bailey shirt. Not yet. What are you teaching? Jewish wrestling? Is it
Krav Maga?
I'm like, oh God, this one's called the penny pincher.
So what we were talking about, Chelsea Green?
Yes, Chelsea Green. Back to Miss Chelsea. So, I mean, do you guys believe that they're going to suspend, punish? I mean, do you think she's going to get like the Perry Saturn treatment where she's just buried now?
I think whatever they give her, she'll do. she'll make the best of it. I think.
Probably.
Agreed. But if she did decide to go to the Indies, her and Matt Cardona would be like the ultimate indie power couple. I mean,
They
Oh,
already
yeah.
were.
yeah, exactly. Vince Russo, while discussing, Chelsea Green had mentioned, and I don't know if I would take this chance, but he's telling her to run towards Hollywood. He's like, you're a bona fide star. You're better than WWE. You're better than how WWE treats their talent, except for the very top. He's like, go to Hollywood. He's like, I guarantee you can get into movies, TV shows, and use your talents there and get paid a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she has all the charisma and talent to be an actress. And with her physique and her background in wrestling, dude, you want to talk about a believable female action star. I'm just saying.
And they need a new Gina Carano now that
Yes.
Disney whooped Gina's ass. No, I'm kidding. But they do need a new Gina Carano now that Gina Carano's gone.
I'll be there next week, kid. I'll be there next week. No, she would be an apt replacement for Gina Carano. All right, we got to take a FMK here. Nicole Bass, Old Mae Young, and by God, it's Refrigerator Jax. All right, I'll go first. I am going to I'm going to take Mae Young out back around the woodshed like Old Yeller.
What year, Mae Young?
Old Mae Young, it says right on the screen, Draven.
Oh,
Follow the product, Draven.
Sorry.
Quit slapping buttons and follow.
Because if it's Queen of the Ring, Mae Young, hell yeah.
No, yeah, Mae Young was kind of foxy back when she was under 600 years old. No, but yeah, I'm Old Yellering Mae Young. I'm going to indulge myself in snoo with Nicole Bass, which is always was a thing of mine, even though she's gargantuan. And I guess in this case, I'm going to become the husband of a overweight Samoan woman. My God, I'm Mr. Refrigerator Jax.
Nicole Bass. Let me see. Well, that's
All right.
old bodybuilder lady.
Yeah, I would kill Nicole Bass because she looks like Rob Van Dam.
I can't because I just am curious.
There's nothing feminine about that. I can't.
Nope.
I can't at all. I would fuck Mae Young because she'll let you put it wherever you want, and I think she's proved that. And I'd marry Nia Jax because if I'm going to be with you, I want to feel protected and I want to be held when I'm feeling insecure. And I think Nia Jax can do all that.
Well, she's the size of a refrigerator. Of course she could.
Exactly.
Damn, who the hell?
Yeah, you could always, that's part of the fun during foreplay is finding all kinds of snacks hidden on the refrigerator.
Oh, no, never mind. I have student. I'm trying. I'm really trying.
Yeah, I think I think mine would probably be the same, the same as you, Tony. Because Nia Jax, I think, cause when she wasn't wrestling, she was trying to lose a bunch of weight. And if she continued down that path, I think she'd look good if she lost a shit ton of weight. So it'd be a win-win. You just got to get her motivated.
What, you tie a freaking ho-ho to the end of a stick and strap it to her head?
Hey, if anything works.
She's 3 feet out in front of her. She'd be like the T-Rex.
Yeah, if it works.
What's up, Gap? Good to see you, bro. He's watching over there on Monotony's Wrestle Douche channel, which we are dual streaming on this evening. All right, Phil, go ahead, bro. We'll do another one. We'll do another one, bro. We'll do another one. So no, man, on the back to the Chelsea Green thing though, dude, I really I hope she's not a backstage issue. You know what I mean? Like, I hope she's not, because that it would be a shame, because she's so talented. She's so talented. There's such a high ceiling there. And yeah, Tony, you mentioned earlier about it's okay if they're taking the U.S. title off her to elevate her, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So, what does that say about Triple H, though?
Well, that's like in that clip they had Dakota Kai there. She's like, I want to wrestle. Like, she was ready and willing to wrestle, but they wouldn't put her in as they're waiting for Damage Control, and not Natalia. Like, she's not doing anything either. She's doing like indie shit, like for NWA and stuff right now. Because I guess it was part of her when she re-signed. She wanted to do some like bucket list kind of stuff. But it's like they squander her too, and she's a great worker. And they don't really do anything with her. So it's like, this is par for the course when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gifting some memberships out tonight.
I just don't see how, with all that TV time, that massive roster, and all of the writers, it's not like it's one or two people writing on a pad from their back pocket anymore. How can we have to pad out the fucking runtime of every television show, every pay-per-view? You could fit an entire match, or two or three or four if it's something like WrestleMania, in between the pad time. There's so many writers. How can you have such talented people sit there and rot? And I don't mean the people who were released today, but I mean just different wrestlers that are doing nothing. I mean, there should be, again, what we talked about earlier, it should be action-packed. There should be something to do for every person on the television. And for the most part, I mean, nothing's going on. It feels like we're watching, I don't know, 2006 in slow motion. Like, I don't understand, with all those writers, how come no one ever has anything to do?
I don't like how they. I don't know, man. Their writing process to me is kind of fucked up. Like,
it's garbage.
It's not
garbage.
It's not a wrestling show anymore.
Look at Cody. Yeah, it's a parody of itself.
It really is.
Cody and Cena going into WrestleMania. I mean, it was nothing. The story was nothing, because they're like, why do we need a story? It's Cody and Cena. Those names alone, that'll sell it. Why do we need any kind of thought put into this?
All right. Phil gave us probably the most difficult FMK I've ever seen. I'm going to let Draven start this one.
I know who mine is, I think, and I'm probably going to get some flack for it, but I'm going to marry Stephanie Vicure, because I think she'd make some pretty good beans and rice. And then you know, fucking Stephanie Vicure. Why would you not want to spend the rest of your life with that? And then it's a toss up on Liv and Morgan and Rhea Ripley, on who I'd you know, shtup. But I'm probably gonna shtup Rhea Ripley and take Liv Morgan out back and you know, put one in her, but not that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is rough, but Liv. My thing is, Liv Morgan is kind of like, she looks like every other, like, short white
blonde.
Yeah. So it's like, whatever.
Well, let me ask now. Can we fuck them after we kill them? I'm kidding.
I am a vampire. I can just reanimate her, and then she can be my whatever sire or whatever. I'll sire her.
Listen, I'm usually more for the dark-haired girls, and Stephanie Vicure is beautiful, but when she turns to the side, when you kind of get an angle profile of her face, you can see what she's going to look like in 20 years. And she's not going to age terribly well. Maybe she will, but I don't know. It's just, I think she's beautiful, but I saw like this weird angle of her face a few times, and I'm like, oof, little rough. So I'd fuck Stephanie Vakir. I'd marry Liv Morgan, and yeah, I'd kill Rhea Ripley.
That doesn't surprise me because I know how much you think Rhea Ripley.
I don't
looks
even
like a
want to
man.
kill. I don't even want to kill Rhea Ripley. It's just I really want to, wake up every day plowing Liv Morgan. So if that's what it takes, and she can be my sugar mama.
See,
Oh,
me,
this is great.
man, I'm of the school of thought to where I have no use for a generic blonde. Liv is out. That's the K. I'm gonna spend one night with the Chilean goddess, but I'm marrying Rhea Ripley because she's a tattooed, jacked, smoking hot goth mommy. I'm like, dude, just take. Yeah, that's I
At
absolutely.
that point, you play the clip.
Hands down. Yeah, Rhea. Yeah, Rhea. Yeah, every single time she's on TV, I'm just. So Harlan's yelling at me in the chat here. Wolverine. Libby says Wolverine's going to kill me. What did you say? She says, I will kill the Walking Dead on Friday just so you can see. She's right next to me and she was scared. Oh my God. Harlan, you're so mean.
So a few things.
Yeah.
Number one, Liv Morgan is not a generic blonde. She's Italian. So she is of that same Latin descent as Stephanie Vakir. Number two,
is she really Latin?
You're not thinking she's Italian.
I didn't think really.
Mm-hmm. They're Italians, blonde hair and blue eyes.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure she dyes her hair anyway, but
I don't. She probably does. Most of them do.
But
I mean, Rhea's blonde.
You guys aren't thinking, especially you, Pete. You're talking about marrying Rhea. You're not thinking 10 years up the road when she's strung out on drugs and not long for this world after Buddy Matthews leaves her for Stephanie McMahon.
Jesus.
Godzillionaire makes a good point. They're not. They're not. Although the move that Stephanie does
between her legs.
I told you I took that in practice the other night and from a female, and I was like, okay. When she stepped over my shoulder with her leg, I'm like, what are we doing here? And then the other leg went over, and then she kind of put them together and flipped me over. I'm like, I know where we're going. Okay. But yeah, I was like, I've seen How I Want to Die. And yeah. Rhea's my girl, man. You can't, and she's Australian. So she never wants somebody to go full Rama. I'm like, that's my girl.
I think my only issue with
she'll defend my petrol.
Stephanie Vakir's that move right now is they overemphasize fucking getting it and they smack their hands on the fucking mat. And I don't like that. You're fucking strapped. You're not going to be trying to slap your hands on the fucking mat when you're taking that move. That's why, like, when, as much as we hate fucking Monet, I thought she took it pretty good. At that. And I've seen her getting it taken to by other people in the lucha stuff, and they take it way better.
Mm.
So I don't know if that's just the WWE way that they want people to take it or what. But I think it doesn't look as good.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I like me some Rhea. I like Steph, and the thing about Stephanie Vakir is she's an amazing worker. Like, she really is. Everything she does, every move she makes is very calculated, and like he said, I think Wolverine had a stroke. That looks like something Tony said. That looks like what Tony sends me half the time.
Yay. Now, just one more dad joke. Do you like the old school long blonde hair NXT Rhea? Or do you like this new gothic, I hate my father diarrhea?
Gothic.
The gothic, I hate
Goth
my father.
mommy.
Goth mommy, I hate my
I
father.
just wanted to say diarrhea.
Cha
I
cha
really
cha.
don't care. I don't care at all.
I know sold it.
I like the NXT Rhea better though. Even though I do like the gothic tattoo and stuff, she fucking in NXT looked pretty good. The long blonde hair.
Yeah, he's. Oh, sorry, I was reading a comment somebody made on a post about Trey, because he won Disciple of the Month. He won Disciple of the Month this month. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of my little man.
You're right, HD. My dad did have a joke. It was me.
Jeez.
My life punchline.
Damn.
I used to think my life. What did Joker say? I used to think my life was a comedy. Now I see it's a tragedy or something like that.
Tragedy. Now I see it's a comedy.
Comedy. I had it back. Maybe I'm dyslexic.
I don't want to come.
Let's see. Before we get into our last topic, let's see what do we got. Well, not our last one, but our next one. Let's see. We talked about Chelsea. Do we want to talk about the Stephanie and Vince relationship?
I think this could go places.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you.
Hey, we'll take it, man. We'll take it. If yeah, here we go. Let's play this clip. I couldn't remember what I was going to say, but here we go.
All right, Vince, we got more. Rep says, Vince R., nobody else has dissected the Rock Triple H Civil War the way you have. Perhaps The Rock has backing of both Ari and Vince McMahon. It may be Triple H Steph who backstabbed Vinnie Mac with the Wall Street Journal. I don't think Vince is involved in this at all. I really don't.
Yeah.
I really don't. As much as people want him to be.
Yeah, I do believe though, man. Again, it's such a long history, but the second Triple H and Stephanie voted against Vince coming back on the board, it was Armageddon. Yep. That day, it was game over. When Triple H is up there saying my relationship with Vince McMahon is complicated, bro, it's not complicated at all. You don't have one. It is clear as day to me that Stephanie and Hunter are completely cut off from Vince McMahon, and Vince still has a relationship with Shane. That is as clear as day, because when you're voting against your own father-in-law and father to not have him come back in the company, that's when Vince McMahon said, you will get this company over my dead body. I will sell this company before it gets handed over to you. And guess what?
He did. I'll take it a step further. Do you not think that when – let's go back to the meeting room discussion. So for Stephanie to have a show on ESPN, that wasn't they go to ESPN and say, hey, Stephanie McMahon would like to have a show, and they do it, but then she gets access to all of these WWE superstars. They went to Ari. They went to that side and said, hey, we'd like to have the show on ESPN, and Stephanie would like to host it. You don't think, Vince, they sat in that room and grilled Stephanie and said, are you still with your dad? Do you still talk to your dad? Do you want anything to do with your dad? But for them to greenlight a show meant that there's nothing left between Stephanie and Vince, because they have shown they won't allow it. Anybody tied to Vince, with the exception of one or two, they're gone now. They've been fired systematically.
And who was not at brother-in-law's Hall of Fame speech?
Shane.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Phil, exactly. According to WWE, Vince is dead, and they all write off of his creative mind and coattails while pretending they are geniuses. They stand on the shoulder of giants and think they're flying.
Yeah, why are you listening to Russo or Coachman? Dude, Vince Russo is much more insightful from the outside than he was from the inside. I'll tell you that. And I do think, as far as he goes, there's been some personal growth there, obviously, since.
Vince Russo has booked some pretty awful stuff, but he's also booked some of the greatest memories I have of wrestling during the biggest boom period in wrestling, and he never gets credit for that.
He's the reason
Now,
for the
again,
era.
yeah, there's a lot at which people are constantly, oh, it's another Attitude Era. Like, yeah, he set the standard for which now it was him and Vince together. And look, same thing with Vince McMahon. Vince has had some highest of highs and lowest of lows. I mean, Vince McMahon has created some real bad stuff, and then he's created some iconic stuff. But writing a show week in, week out isn't that easy, especially back then. Like, we're talking about a whole creative room now and a team. Like, it was Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara writing everything back then. It was a single man's vision. Yeah, he did go off the rails in WCW and some in TNA, but him and Coachman were still in the business, and they still know Vince McMahon and the McMahon family and understand the politics of the industry, and they just have some insight. Like, they're not the only people we listen to, but we do try to get a well-rounded perspective from different personalities within the industry. I mean, shit, Jim Cornette goes off about politics, and I roll my eyes, but I do listen to him for his insight.
Outside of wrestling, I absolutely can't stand Cornette or what he says, but the man he has one of the best minds ever in the wrestling business. He really does. Cornette's a fucking fantastic historian when it comes to wrestling. And do they all have shitty takes? Absolutely. But yeah, I listen to Bischoff, Garrett, and one of my favorites. And again, I think one of the greatest like podcasters out there right now, and he's growing at such a rapid rate, is Stevie Richards.
I'm behind on his episodes. I'm going back through, and I'm gonna watch through.
He is a great person,
but as far as the Vince and all that, and Russo, and it's sad that like he's like one of the voices of reason now, like that. As far as wrestling goes, like, and Vince. And it's a sketches thing. Vince, like, I think was already kind of killing his company to begin with before all the stuff. Like, the booking for his stuff was kind of lackluster, before Triple H took it. Now, Triple H isn't perfect. Yeah, Triple H isn't perfect either. Like, he started off fairly strong, and then kind of has been, kind of circling the drain. Like with some hit or misses here and there. But I think a lot of that, at least with the main title stuff, has to do with The Rock trying to interject himself into a lot of shit. And that throws a monkey wrench into like plans that they may or may not have already had. And since he's the CEO, he kind of can throw his weight around and get what he wants.
And I agree, but I mean, there's monkey wrenches thrown in plans all the time. Like, yeah, back when Vince was in charge, Vince was in charge. But I mean, things would happen. But even when you have to improvise,
yeah, but
I mean, like those,
like he can't improvise. That's the problem.
Yeah, those first two. Yeah, he's a lunkhead. Those first two John Cena appearances after Elimination Chamber, that was pretty awful, man. Like, and people had already been waiting a few weeks to hear from him, and like. Even with Orton, fucking last Friday, like Orton's cutting a promo on Cena and Cena's cutting a promo on the crowd. And it's like weird. Like, stop telling us, hey, I'm a bad guy, and just be a heel. Like that, like that's what he keeps addressing the crowd, and you didn't appreciate me, and this and that. Like, like one thing Hogan did well when he was a heel, he was cocky and confident and like talked about how great he was. But maybe in the beginning he was like, screw you fans, bah, 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 bah. This is the new world organization. But then he just went into this real cocky, kind of cool, bit cheesy character, you know, and he just was a heel. He didn't keep telling the fans, hey, I'm a bad guy. And that's on Triple H. Triple H should be able to give Cena direction. They should have had this thought out better, even if it was on the fly because of The Rock. I mean, I could think of 1,000 different things they could have done to make the build up to WrestleMania more exciting than what we ended up getting. Though that they did have a couple good promos there at the end, but it could have been like that the entire time, the entire build up.
Yeah, they dropped the ball with that big time. It was, well, we, like you said, man, we talked about the promos and how it was, yeah, Cena's just addressing the crowd. He's not addressing Cody. They're not interacting. They're just monologuing. You know, it's just, yeah, it was boring until then Cena starts getting laid out. I don't know. It just, the whole thing. And you could tell there, like you said, now we know why it broke down the way it did, because there's a pissing contest backstage between Hunter and The Rock, and
Yeah.
you know it turned
And
into
Hunter ain't smart enough to weather the waters. He's
Nope.
not.
No, he is. He's just a, like you said, man. The lunkhead is like the best descriptor for him. He is the prototypical fucking lunkhead. Like, absolutely, man.
Have a good night, HD.
See you, kiddo. Have a good one.
I agree. My sketchbook, like Hogan, is talent. He's not. You know, he was never really even a locker room leader when he was the guy. You know, he's just the big talent you bring out. He shouldn't be in charge of anyone's business. Except for Real American Beer, brother.
And Real American Freestyle.
Yeah. That's we'll get to the Real American Freestyle, because Phil asked if we talked about that yet. So yeah, we'll maybe Linkhead, but Dwayne has his ass cancer at the helm. Too much. Oh yeah. The Rock is, and I don't know if we talked about this. I know we talked about it on WCBS, not last Thursday, but the Thursday before, when I was on, about Hogan being, you know, a pathological liar, and The Rock is slowly turning into him.
What is the Rock lied about?
Well, just the whole WrestleMania excuse.
Oh yeah.
And
he lies all the time.
He does. He's been to, what is it, In-N-Out Burger for the first time,
yeah.
like 4 times. Twitter doesn't forget, motherfucker.
Really?
Yeah.
He's tweeted several times, oh, trying In-N-Out for my first time. Like, yeah.
I know a lot of them don't actually control their social media, so it's possible one of his handlers.
Yeah, but that's one of quite a few instances of him lying and pissing in water bottles and making the production staff throw it away. And
speaking of what Phil's saying here, I was listening to Bully Ray, and he said they should have had, since The Rock didn't want to be involved, they should have just had The Rock's music play, not have Travis Scott involved at all. Just have The Rock's music play, not even have The Rock come out, and that's when Cena can do his chicanery while Cody's distracted by the Rock coming down after what happened at Elimination Chamber, and freaking get a roll up or whatever and pin him, do a quick pin, because that's kind of like a heel kind of thing to do. And then The Rock can make a social media post or whatever and be like, see, I don't even need to be present for you to, for me to take your soul, basically, kind of thing. And then you're always going to be watching your back, whether I'm going to show up or not, kind of thing. That way it wouldn't have been fucking just this stupid bullshit that he, is doing now. kind of the damage control or them trying to set something up for this stupid fucking reality show.
What, you didn't want to hear this?
No, because yeah. Although it was cool to see him get a Crossroads.
I've ever heard.
Yeah, I don't want to see him anywhere. And if he gets
No.
released as a character in 2K25, I'm gonna set up an exhibition where I just beat the shit out of him all the time.
It's a hate. You can't do that. It's a hate crime.
My sketchbook brought up another little lie. The thing is this. The Rock has just become like, he used to be authentic at his peak. And yeah, he always played a character, but there was authenticity to him, which made his character work, you know?
Yeah.
Now he's just a fake Hollywood prima donna. He's inauthentic. He's got that bullshit eating grin. Oh, yes. And trying, you know, he's fake now. And it's apparent he's fake. He's not the same guy he was at his peak in wrestling. And there it is, you know, the whole Snickers in the Hawaii store, you know, like
I never heard that.
There's all kinds of little shit that Rock constantly lies about for like social acceptance, I guess, or hey, I'm one of you, you know, trying in and out for the first time, guys. Like, dude. So I don't know. Yeah, what you described, Draven, I think that would have been better for TV, definitely.
Yeah, I agree with Phil altogether, but yeah.
Yeah, but like that would have really pissed off the live crowd too to have the Rock's music play, but then because they would have popped for that, and then he didn't come out.
Yeah, and then that would have given him more heat, which would have been fueled a feud between him and.
In theory, yeah, but in today's audience where they cheer the production of the show more than the wrestlers themselves, it could have turned them too. But it honestly, I think if anything would have turned him, it's Travis Scott alone. But that was probably more confusion than anything. Like,
just as long as Stephanie Vakir is giving me them beans and that rice, that's all I care about. She's got a feed with a spork.
Tell her to stare at you dead on, not turn to that angle.
Yes,
you don't want to see what she's going to look like.
She's going to stare deeply into my eyes as she feeds me rice and beans with a spork.
Dog, she's Chilean. She's Chilean. Do you know the kind of food she can make? Shit.
Well, we'll start off with rice and beans and we'll work our way up.
Look at, first of all, you don't. Never mind.
Exactly. Get that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, we were going to talk about Hogan. We're going to talk about Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff's new venture, but that is, that's interesting, man. Like, it's 2025 and Hulk Hogan. First of all, I got to pull that. I want to pull that clip. Because did you catch the music, like during the video, the knockoff NWO music?
Yeah, they got somebody else to make it. Bischoff was talking about it on his thing.
I didn't hear it. It was like, oh man, this is just sad.
The video itself got over 400 million unique impressions or some shit on social media. So it got a lot of attention on it. So that's the goal with whatever new thing they're doing. Whether it pays off is another thing, but
here, I'll play the clip. Here, let me. This is
part 2 of the clip.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Because they revealed the
third. Yeah. We'll watch this. Here we go. I'll just watch this one.
What you gonna do when real American freestyle comes for you?
Oh, Professor Jason X here, bringing.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Yes.
That wasn't. I thought that was the clip. It was somebody's video. I don't want to see that. Oh.
You know, for all their faults, and it's not just nostalgia. Even back in the day, I enjoyed the duo. I like Hogan and Bischoff together. I think they make a great pair. I don't know.
No, I don't dislike them together. I don't dislike them together. It's just it's
sketchbook. I'm
It's
sorry.
No, wait, let's see. Oh, bro, no,
No, the comment on he's not wrong.
Yeah. Well, you
I didn't
know,
mean to cut you off, bro. I'm sorry.
I lost my train. What the fuck was I even talking about? It's gone.
So Hogan and Bischoff.
Oh, yeah, I know. I like them together as a pair. I don't dislike them. It's just it's insane. Like 78-year-old Hulk Hogan and like 64-year-old Eric Bischoff are like launching this new.
Yeah, I got the first clip,
all right,
and I'll have the second one because I got it on their Facebook or whatever.
All right, here we go.
Make it big.
Why so serious? Because you know who I am. But you don't know why he's here. This is so badass. Like, you people know who we are. You have no idea what we're about. We're back, Monster. We are so back.
Just so better than before.
It is so good to see you again, my brother. Oh, it's been too long. I love you the most. No, I love you the most. You are my favorite of all favorites. But you know, we ran so hard. We changed the world one time. But now, we're here to wake them up. We're here to slice and dice the world of wrestling. And you're not going to know what hit you. You know we've changed the world of professional wrestling. You can beat anybody. That's a given. Anybody. It's going to rock your world. Hey, should we tell them? Should we tell them who our third man is? Should we talk about his credentials? Should we talk about all of his championships? Should we talk about the world-class athletes that he has brought to the very top of this world? Should we talk about that? No. Not yet. Not
so
yet.
well together.
But do stay tuned. Because when we do announce our third man, it's going to rock your world. Oh, he's a badass, too. He's a real badass. We're back. We're better than ever. And you can't wait to see. And we're coming to get you. I think they're all coming back to our side. I know it. I can feel it. I can smell it. I can see it.
And then and then I'll bring up the second one.
All right.
We can talk about it, I guess. The first part.
I mean, I hope they're successful in their venture.
I do too.
I don't want to I don't know. I like Hogan. I don't mind Bischoff.
I like Eric Bischoff. I do. I like Bischoff. I respect his ascension, and honestly, like the downfall, shit happens, you get lost in the sauce. They had the deck stacked against them, they played too fast and loose with the checkbook. They did.
Mm-hmm.
Guaranteed contracts, man, for a worker, that's a fucking dream, but whoo boy, when you're talking that much money guaranteed, dude, yeah, that's I mean, you guys remember when we showed that it was the document that leaked out? It was an official was it a Time Warner document or whatever? The pay.
Remember it. Yeah.
It was on Reddit and then it disappeared. And it broke down the 1999 salaries for the entire WCW roster for the fiscal year showed how much they earned, their contract length, how much they made on merch or they lost. I mean, it was fun. Like the Nasty Boys like made like $5 on merch like that year. It was fucking hilarious. It was hilarious. Like what's his name? Kenny Chaos and Robbie Rage in 1999 were making like $350,000 a year each, and they were like jobbers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fuck, dude. And that's lower end guys. I mean, it was ridiculous the money they were making. But that being said, dude, anything.
Well, I have part 2 or whatever here then too, but it's collegiate wrestling, so it's not like your normal like wrestling promotion.
It's time, Hulk. I double dare you. We've been telling you about our third man, and today is the day. 9-time state high school champion, the coach of 8 UFC champions. This man knows it all, has done it all, and I can't wait. You know, we told you we were strapped.
I think it's
we told you we were Jack Boomba. But when I said we were stacked. I mean, we're ready to roll, bro. We're backed up after backed up. Here's a couple for the weekend, brother. What do you call this thing here? The monster, the master of disaster, the man that rules the world of wrestling. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy.
You've seen what these two have done before. We got the cash, we got the talent, and we got real American freestyle wrestling.
And we got our third man, Jack. You know, people are going to tremble. People are going to get scared because Eric, knows how to beat everybody. Izzy Mania is going to run wild on the whole world of wrestling. And now that we've stepped our game up and we're now in the world of professional freestyle wrestling, all I have to say is welcome to the black and blue. Welcome to the black and blue of freestyle professional wrestling. You're going to get paid to beat people up. You're going to get paid to win. You're going to get paid to make them scream. So roll out the red carpet. I don't want super. I want mega stars. So I have to say, what you going to do when real American freestyle comes for you?
I like it. I like it, and it brings that type of wrestling to a bigger audience. Like,
yeah.
So, like, you know, people that aren't necessarily into that, you know, might get interested because they see, you know, two guys that they may already watch and want to, you know, check out.
Oh, I can cut better promos than that, Phil. You know that. Pete, is that how your students see you when you're at Shogun? No, I'm in gimmick. Hey, you want to see? Here we go. You want to see a sizzle reel? Here you go. This is what's gonna play on the fucking. We're installing like a little jumbotron gimmick. It's Shogun. I made my own entrance video. Here you go. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna be fucking. I'm gonna play this shit. Here.
But now, since he stepped the fuck off.
Here's what they think about you. Pete Daddy Dollar sucks.
Here's what they think about you. This guy's a
Pete isn't worth a in the ring anymore.
I thought this piece of hired years ago.
Here's what they think about you.
This guy's an idiot.
I want my money back.
There you go. That's how you fucking do it. That's how you do it, and you get copywritten for it. That was a shameless act of self-promotion. There you go, Phil. I gotta cut my promo for the Ronin Rumble, baby. I'm in the fucking Ronin Rumble on May 10th. And you guys know I'm terrified of going over the top rope, right? Like, I'm fucking terrified. The first show I worked, the Battle Royal, they did a Battle Royal at the end of the show, and everybody was waiting ringside. And when Jared said go, everybody's supposed to rush the ring. I had my headphones on, I had my phone, I'm in my tennis shoes and my gear sitting ringside with my Yankees hat on. Battle Royal starts, everybody runs the ring. I went like this, fucking too sweeted the crowd, and walked to the fucking back. So technically, I still haven't been eliminated. That was January 26th. I'm almost there with Curtis Axel. Almost.
Right.
Goddamn.
And I just, real quick, want to say that, Phil, I thought I was the only person that cut promos while taking a shit. And I think that's really awesome. I'm glad we share that bond, brother.
Oh, God. I think that about wraps it up, doesn't it?
Well, did we do the Vince McMahon Stephanie relationship?
Did we play that?
No.
No, we didn't. Let's play that. Here we go. Here's Vince Russo on Steph and Vince's relationship.
All right, Vince, we got more. Rep says, Vince R., nobody else has dissected the Rock Triple H Civil War the way you have. Perhaps The Rock has backing of both Ari and Vince McMahon. It may be Triple H Steph who backstabbed Vinnie Mac with the Wall Street Journal. I don't think Vince is involved in this at all. I really don't.
Yeah.
I really don't. As much as people want him to be.
Yeah, I do believe, though, man, again, it's such a long history, but the second Triple H and Stephanie voted against Vince coming back on the board, it was Armageddon. Yep. That day, it was game over. When Triple H is up there saying my relationship with Vince McMahon is complicated, bro, it's not complicated at all. You don't have one. It is clear as day to me that Stephanie and Hunter are completely cut off from Vince McMahon, and Vince still has a relationship with Shane. That is as clear as day, because when you're voting against your own father-in-law and father to not have him come back in the company, that's when Vince McMahon said, you will get this company over my dead body. I will sell this company before it gets handed over to you. And guess what?
He did. I'll take it a step further. Do you not think that when – let's go back to the meeting room discussion. So for Stephanie to have a show on ESPN, that wasn't they go to ESPN and say, hey, Stephanie McMahon would like to have a show, and they do it, but then she gets access to all of these WWE superstars. They went to Ari. They went to that side and said, hey, we'd like to have this show on ESPN, and Stephanie would like to host it. You don't think, Vince, they sat in that room and grilled Stephanie and said, are you still with your dad? Do you still talk to your dad? Do you want anything to do with your dad? But for them to greenlight a show meant that there's nothing left between Stephanie and Vince, because they have shown they won't allow it. Anybody tied to Vince, with the exception of one or two, they're gone now. They've been fired systematically.
And who was not at brother-in-law's Hall of Fame speech?
Shane.
What do you think, Draven?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we already touched on that, and we watched that.
Did we?
Watch that clip, unless I'm living in fucking reverse world where we, went back in time.
I have no idea. We did what? Did we? I don't know.
I remember Chelsea Green, but that's it.
No, we watched that too.
The wife got home.
Oh, no, you're good.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, son of a bitch.
You're high.
I am. Overall, though, I mean,
yeah, that's my fault. I didn't remember. I'm the one that brought it up. I don't remember watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sketchbook.
Somebody's getting sober around here.
Great. That's what I'm gonna do when I go upstairs. I'm gonna hit my pen, eating edibles all show. I'm gonna go upstairs, smoke a bowl, and go to bed. I got to get up for golf in the morning. No, man. This promotion, this wrestling entertainment company now, as far as its overall health goes, without Vince, it's in trouble, man. It is. And not in terms of like financial peril. I mean, obviously they're not hurting. They're in a better financial state now than they've ever been in. I mean, we looked at the SummerSlam tickets, $40,000, right, Tony, for ringside?
Yeah, which pisses me off
Yes.
because I wanted to potentially go to that.
40 and they're sold out already, correct?
Yep.
That's what, front row?
Front row. SummerSlam.
It's
$40,000.
front row both nights, Raw and SmackDown. And yeah, like a private transportation to the arena and a couple other things.
And a hand job from The Miz.
Yeah. Yeah,
Now, if it's from his
exactly.
wife, then sure.
No, it's The Miz.
Oh, well, fuck.
Draven's like,
I'm good.
Go on.
Shut up, you. I'm good. Unless
no,
we can convince Cardi B to maybe, give me a hand job.
Oh, she'd drug you and steal your wallet.
Well, as long as she doesn't drug me, somebody else has got to be there too to watch.
She'd drug you. She'd be like, brr. You'd be like, what? She's like, oh, grr. That's literally all she does. Is like, brr, and oh, grr. And that's all. That's the last thing you hear before you fade into that sweet slice of death we call
before
sleep.
I get Bill Cosby.
Yeah, yeah. You might as well get Bill Cosby paying $40,000 for front row seats at fucking SummerSlam in New Jersey.
I know.
In New Jersey, of all places.
Yep.
Like, I can't look. I can't justify spending $40,000 on a ringside seat for a wrestling show. Come pay $20 and watch us, or go pay $20 and watch your local indie fed. You know what I mean? That's paying the boys. This is, dude. As somebody who loves wrestling, like I said, I paid $110 for a SmackDown ticket. Like, come on. Like, that's a lot, dude. For SmackDown,
paid like all but $400 for that ROH pay-per-view. And then the Collision and what was that, Rampage? That was around that.
$400?
Yeah, $200-300, something like that.
For fucking Rampage and Collision?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. And there was some ROH shit in there that they threw in there too.
God, if I had your money, I'd burn mine.
And it was close, and I wanted to see and it was like third from the front. So.
Still, that's so much money for just like.
Yeah, I know, but
I don't. But I mean, whatever. If you want to pay it, you want to pay it.
Even back in like 2016, it was like 200 or so.
It's
even nosebleeds.
I haven't been to a show like a WWE show since 2009.
Yeah, the one in 2016 when it was Raw, I think, in Philly, when the Shield returned. Like they have front row, then they have back, and then there's like it's still on the floor, but it was like they have like little sort of like stadium like seating thing or whatever. It was one of those, and they were decent seats for the most part, but you still kind of had to look over people. That was, I think, $100-200.
That's still an exorbitant amount. It really is. I mean, you're fucking charging so much money. And for what? A glorified house show. Like, SmackDown has been better than Raw. I didn't see it tonight, but Raw has been really good the last couple weeks. Since WrestleMania, it's been good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. SmackDown's been decent, though. Like I said, I didn't see it tonight. I'll watch the highlights in the morning at golf.
I'm going to watch. I DVR'd it, so I'm going to watch it after we're done here.
I'll get the rundown from Trey tomorrow morning, too. So, yeah. But, no, man, I think, I don't know, in WWE buying AAA, I mean, what are they going to do? Turn it into, like, WWE South? I mean, like, what are they going to do to AAA? Like, I don't know much about AAA, admittedly. Like,
Conan's been talking about it, so they're gonna still do their own things, I think, but they're cleaning shop, and they're basically, if you got to step up basically if you want to keep your spot now, and then they're gonna have the Fed's own people, I think, doing creative and stuff for it. But it's going to open it up to be, there's still a bunch of working parts in progress.
Yeah.
But they're going to open it up to where you'll be able to watch it here stateside. It'll be easier to watch. So it'll get a whole new audience.
Well, that's good.
That's able to watch that product. And then obviously based on that Lucha thing or whatever they were talking, they're doing that cross promotion event or whatever.
I want to see Vikingo. Mm-hmm. I want to see more of. I like Vikingo.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I was like I said, I was impressed with his skill when he was in AEW when we watched the couple matches he were doing. I was very impressed with him. So there's something positive to be gleaned here, and WWE will play the U.S. government, and they will strip mine all the rare minerals they can and move on like the locusts they are, and leave everything in shambles, I'm sure. But I think that about wraps it up for the night, really.
Speaking of that, real quick, it's funny how they're doing that WWE ID, and then they just bought AAA. It's like with the indies kind of brought back the territories to a degree, and then now they're going around and kind of buying up the territories again.
Yeah,
so it's like, what the fuck? It's just weird. I find that interesting.
It is, and they're like, no, that's not what we're doing, but that's what every monopoly says.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus. He's a Vikingo is the male version of Io Sky. God damn it!
Really? That match with him and fucking Omega was fucking great.
I thought they had a good match.
Yeah.
I mean, look.
I will say, if you've seen one match of him, you've kind of seen them all, but because they're kind of the same. He gets his shit in, and then they take it home.
Yeah, but so does Penta, and so does Ray Phoenix. I said it right that time, Tony. To a certain degree.
Phoenix?
Phoenix.
I always say Phoenix because it's spelled that way.
I'm gonna.
But Tiwis would look stupid.
Yeah. It would look dumb.
It's still spelled that way.
It's a long E.
Right.
God damn it, Draven.
All right, everybody. We're going to end the show here. Thank you, everybody, for watching. What?
Did we play that last clip with the Vince and Triple H and the Stephanie relationship?
I'm high, but I'm not that high.
It's fucking deja vu, man.
Is this fucking Groundhog's Day? Fuck. All right, everybody. We love you guys. We don't see you. Have a great day at Pleasant Bar. We'll catch you on the next one. But just know that I'm recording interviews with two fetish producers coming up. We got a female bodybuilder coming back. Natasha Brozier will be back next week. Lady Oyanka from Lady O Productions will be here on Sunday. And Jennifer Thomas possibly by the end of next week. So, yeah. And director Nick Bergman from Wendigo Pictures will be on Tuesday Night Terrorvision, which comes back this Tuesday. Nitro will be back Monday. All kinds of fun games, hot takes with Casey. It's all ahead, folks. Thank you so much for being here. If we don't see you, have a great day at Pleasant Bar. We'll catch you on the next one. And remember, it is always better to burn out than fade. Patreon.com/